This program is produced by Eagle Mountain Apostolic Resource Center. To find additional episodes of this program, as well as other content, visit eaglemountain.tv.
My name is Mr. Sin.
You apish, beast-eating abomination.
Are you kidding me?
Okay, here we go. What is a group of pigs called?
A potluck?
How are you doing there, Foxy? Finding out what you're doing after this show. Maybe we could go grab some drinks or something. What do you say?
No, thanks.
I for sure will go in there to get that. Give me that thing.
No, it's not safe in my shirt.
Right here.
From you.
Hey everyone, welcome to Together We Build. My name is Chris Behnke. I'm here with Prudence O'Haire, and this is episode 1 of season 4. Give me five. Give me five. All right, cheers. I'm super pumped. Can you believe that we've been doing this for 4 whole seasons?
No.
What do you feel about that? Does that make you excited or discouraged?
Well, wouldn't it make me discouraged?
Oh, good. That would be horrible if you were discouraged by that, because it's been absolutely amazing. If you're curious, by the way, and you just happen to see this about all the other episodes, go over to chrisandprudence.com and you can find all of the other episodes right there. It's amazing. Okay, what we normally do is trivia. I've got some new trivia questions. Are you ready? I think we need to just get right into it, because I want to. So we're going after this thing about creativity. And I'm super pumped about it. It's gonna be more than one episode. So we're gonna have more than one episode around this subject. We really want to unpack it, but before we do that, we got to do this trivia, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. Here's a question for you. Here's a question. You ready?
Yeah.
Which apostle was a tax collector before following Jesus?
Oh, it wasn't Simon. Who was the tax collector?
It's going to be so obvious when I tell you.
Was it Judas?
No, it was Matthew.
Oh, Matthew.
All right.
I was just trying to think of that tax.
You ended.
Like Zacchaeus wasn't an apostle.
No, he was a poor little man. Poor little man was he. What is the traditional, this is relationships trivia, what is a traditional gift for the 25th wedding anniversary? Which, by the way, we've had it. What's the traditional gift? Like
a stone?
Yeah, like on your first anniversary, I think it's like
silver.
Rotten wood.
It's silver.
It's silver. Yeah. Nice job. Silver it is. Did we give ourselves something silver on our 25th?
Well, you bought me this ring, but this is actually more white gold, I think.
Yeah, it's white gold.
It is silverish looking.
But that's gold, solid gold. And what's the jewel in that thing?
It's a blue topaz.
I had that custom made.
It looks like a peony.
I had that custom made by an artist in the Ukraine. Okay, let me ask you this. General trivia. How many bones are in the human body? How many bones are in the human body? It's more than 5. It's less than 1,000.
Is it 400 and something?
It's 306.
Oh,
306. But since 400 is similar to 300 in a lot of ways,
it's definitely not
I'm
similar.
giving you the thing. Okay. Okay, what do you got?
Okay.
You got some stuff. I got a video too I want to play for you.
In which ocean can you find the Bermuda Triangle?
Atlantic.
Yes, correct.
I'm always correct.
Okay. I would know what that is.
What? What is it? Is this something gross? Don't ask it's gross.
What is a sound too low pitched for humans to hear called?
Inaudible? Low frequencies?
Infrasound.
Infrasound. Obviously, that's what I meant when I said inaudible. Okay, next.
On what beverage can you read Old Number 7 brand on the label? I don't know. Maybe root beer?
No. I know this. No, not root beer. It's a Tennessee whiskey. Jack Daniels.
Yes, Jack Daniel's whiskey.
Let's go. I want to know how good number 6 was.
Which is longer, the Great Wall of China or the Trans-Siberian Railway?
Oh, the Great Wall.
You sure?
Yes, 100%.
Nope.
Obviously, I was tricking you.
The Trans-Siberian Railway is about 270 miles longer.
That's ridiculous.
So
Okay, are we done
that's
with
still
this?
on.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I'm discouraged now. Wrong.
Okay, one more.
One more.
What country gave the Statue of Liberty to the U.S.?
France, of course.
Yes, France.
It was the only gift they ever given us.
And the profession of Florence Nightingale?
Singer?
Nurse.
Nurse, obviously. We're going to jump into this creativity. It's actually really important. I think a lot of people, hopefully you'll keep watching this. A lot of people are like, oh, I'm not creative at all. This is exactly what you need to hear. But before you do that, I want to show you this because I thought it was absolutely fantastic. So basically this farmer had this rodent that was eating his stuff. And so he put out a game cam, and this sucker just decided to keep eating all of his stuff, but in front of the game cam.
Oh, is this one of those like gopher things?
It is a find the mouse thing. Here we go.
Oh. Like, how can you like kill this thing after doing this?
No one said he got killed.
He sits in front of the camera. Oh, it's hilarious.
I think it's pretty much 100% positive that this was staged.
You think so?
Oh, yeah.
You don't think a creature like that could walk over to a normal spot to eat its little treat?
Every single shot was a different fruit and in front of the camera perfectly in the center. Like, it's for sure a scam.
I don't know. It's super funny, though.
I
if it is a scam.
I think it's absolutely adorable. And with that, we're going to launch into this amazing, just incredible topic, which is creativity. Mm-hmm. So we did this. So at Eagle Mountain, we have these. We have this amazing membership to this whole platform of educational resources called the World Changer Membership. You've got to check it out. You go to kingdomlearning.com, click on memberships, this World Changer Membership. With that, you get access to all of the e-courses on our platform, but you also get access to these things that we do every month, which are called engages. So we engage with the audience, they're interactive, and they're incredible. And not this last one, but we did one with you, Prudence, on some of this topic that we're going after today. So if you want to dig into this more, you can definitely get access to that by going to Kingdom Learning and checking it out. But set the stage for us. Where are we going over the next episode or 2 or 3 or however long it takes in this short series?
Yes. We're going to be talking about creating and how every single one of us were designed to create because we are created beings.
Right.
And made into the image of our Creator. Right. He designed us with all sorts of special gifts and abilities and unique things that are special to each one of us. And I think that it is important for everyone to understand that about themselves.
Yeah.
And also that creating doesn't just mean that we paint a picture or write a song. It is literally creating means to design, to fashion, to bring into being, to organize, to build, to get something working, to establish, to develop, to sow the seeds of and get something moving. Now, one thing that you will notice if you're familiar with the Human Nexus profile and the God-designed material that we have put out, which they can find where exactly?
Yeah,
What
if you go
website?
to thehumannexus.com, thehumannexus.com,
Yeah.
you can find you can take the Nexus profile for free there, actually.
Or you can upgrade and get
can upgrade.
You can pay to upgrade.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
if you upgrade, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
All the
So
content you
this
get,
is an assessment that Chris has designed, created.
yes,
Can we just use that term?
I designed and created.
To help us with our identity.
Yeah.
And who
it's amazing.
who we were established to be. That's a whole different topic, but I will say that within that, there's 4 types, and the meaning of the word create and all of these things that I just read about the definition can be found within those 4 types. It's not any one type. It is within all of them,
Yeah,
this definition.
right.
So that's pretty cool, because that means that we're, no matter what type you are,
Right.
high in, low in, we're all designed to
Right.
create.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, real quick, I think there's this lie that the enemy tries to push on everybody that they're not creative, or if they do consider themselves creative, that what they're creative at isn't even that good. I think it's because he doesn't have the ability to create, and he wants to be able to. So he hates us for the creativity that God made into us. But every person is creative.
Yep, we are. So we need to start valuing ourselves as producers in
Yes.
some format. We are producers always. So where else should we start?
Well, I mean, let's just dig in. I think it'd be great to start with talking about why you are talking about this, which means we should start with a little bit of your background. So you trained at the Juilliard School of Music in New York City, correct? For
No.
your whole life since you were a baby.
No, I have not done that.
Well, let me brag about you briefly first. So Prudence has authored 2 supernatural thrillers, and she's working on lots of other writing projects. You can find all of this stuff at chrisandprudence.com. But and then she's also produced all kinds of music as well, prophetic music that is unbelievably powerful. You can find that on Spotify, Apple, Amazon, YouTube, wherever you want to find your music. And she also is the creator of beautiful things. That's the way I view it. That's the way I see it. Everything from jewelry to clothing to designs of things and just all kinds of things. She creates all of that stuff, all kinds of different medium and so forth. She is a deep thinker. She's the conscious blend in the Nexus profile, which means she spends a lot of time in her brain, if you will. So with that, a little just tip of the iceberg of who you are, launch into kind of your background. I think that sets the stage well.
How I got here?
Yes, but skip past the part where your mom met your dad and all that. Like skip past that.
Yeah, skip past that. Okay. So let's see. I was born and raised in the Pacific Northwest, Oregon specifically, in the rainy part, the emerald green rainy part.
The emerald green rainy part. I love it.
I was raised in a conservative home. I was homeschooled, except for 2 years out of my education under high school. I have 3 siblings. I was a middle child, so 2 older brothers, 1 younger sister. And if you are familiar with the Nexus profile, I am a conscious blend, which means I am stabilizer and solutionary predominantly, very much so. So growing up, I was an observer in my house. I was very shy and introverted. yet still desired friends, and I had them. I was able to make friends and not be a social recluse. Well, my parents wouldn't have let me be a social recluse anyway if I had wanted.
Yeah. You weren't getting away with that.
No. So, yes, my parents made me do a lot of things I didn't want to do, things I was uncomfortable with. They didn't ask if I wanted to do it, and I didn't say I couldn't or wouldn't, so I just did. And of course, those moments and things are never enjoyable, but it definitely pushes you to grow. So I did a lot of growing in childhood, even though I was very afraid of everything that I was doing. So it's really one of the reasons why I can sit here and talk to you, being this super high conscious blend.
Yeah.
I have been conditioned.
You've been working on that your whole life.
I have been working on it my whole life. And I spent a lot of time really exercising my imagination as a youngster, being homeschooled. And my mom wasn't super pushy in the academic department. So we had a lot of free time available, and we didn't have TV, and we didn't, we had to entertain ourselves. And we spent hours out of the day playing with various toys that weren't robbing us of our imagination, but facilitating it.
Yeah.
And so I loved my childhood a lot, and it was perfect for me, especially to sprout in all the different areas. I knew that piano was inside of me, so I asked my mom around 10 if she would get me a piano.
Yeah.
And lessons, and she did.
The old chicory.
She went out and bought me a piano, and she hooked me up with lessons. And
that piano was built in the 1800s.
Yeah, it was.
The late 1800s.
We still have it. I've been packing it everywhere. I now have 2 pianos. Well, 3 if you count the keyboard. But
4. We have 2 keyboards.
Yes. And so I actually had 2 piano teachers over the course of about 5 years, and
I didn't know that.
You didn't know I had 2?
No, I thought it was all one.
No, it was
one
2.
Clever lady that figured you out.
Nope, I had 2.
Huh.
And we moved, and I had a new piano teacher. And anyways, the second piano teacher suspected that I didn't read notes. I wasn't reading notes, and so she switched the music with a title on songs.
Okay, so let me just pause you there for just a second. So you don't read music.
Right.
But you produce music, and you have several albums that are out, and you play music on Sundays, and you're an unbelievable musician, but you don't read music.
Right.
Okay. But you were faking it.
Yes, I was.
So you were a liar to your piano teacher.
Well, when I was younger,
a deceiver.
When I was younger, I just memorized what was being played by listening to it in the piano teacher and just really watching and paying attention to where she was going with it. So that's how I would reproduce it.
Unbelievable.
And well, it wasn't the best when I had to play a piece of music that was classical.
Oh, I bet not.
It was very stressful for me because
you couldn't read the music.
I couldn't
That's
read the
why.
music.
That's what was stressful.
But here's the thing is that I didn't really know that I couldn't read the music. And until I got older, I didn't really know because I was producing the sound and I was looking at the page and I was producing the sound. So in my mind, I was doing something here.
So you just, in your mind, somehow it felt like you would look at the music, you kind of like daze off into space, let your eyes go cross-eyed, everything turns blurry, but the sound was coming out, so you thought somehow it was some kind of metamorphosis. You didn't realize that the little black dots going up and down were actually supposed to be instructing your fingers?
Yeah, probably.
So how old were you? 2, 3, where this was a hard concept, or? When did your teacher catch you red-handed?
I was probably 15,
Oh
14 or 15.
my word.
So anyway, I ended up quitting music.
Wait.
Lessons.
You you're trying to skirt around the fact that you got caught red-handed cheating.
Yeah, but she didn't tell me in the lesson. She told my mother later.
So she changed.
What I discovered was Alice isn't reading the notes.
Yes, Prudence isn't reading the notes.
Yes.
So basically, she took and put the wrong title on the music, and you played the title, not the music.
Yeah.
Nice one. Excellent work.
I thought I did a good job.
You're like, that sounded great, right?
I'll
And
tell
the
you
teacher's
what.
like this.
It was actually Jingle Bells. I remember the piece of music now that she had taped the title to. It was Jingle Bells, to be exact.
So the music was Jingle Bells, or the title was Jingle
The title was Jingle Bells. I don't know what the music was.
It's probably
At
some
any rate,
Mozart.
I eventually quit music lessons because I'm trying to convince my mom, listen, I've been doing this 4 or 5 years and it's not working for me. But I never stopped actually playing the instrument. And eventually I just kept challenging myself to various things musically. I liked to play the instrument. And so I kept going and I kept going and I kept going. So that's why I'm here today. But yes,
That's why I'm here today.
hear the music come out. And
That's crazy. That's nuts. Nice job. Nice job just totally lying to your piano teacher.
Yeah.
Excellent work.
Anyway, so I did a lot of creation and through other forms, which was sewing lessons and baking and choir and pets were a huge part of our lives. Horses, my parents indulged me into horses. I was in 4-H. I had a lot of toys, like I mentioned before, that really fueled me and my sister's imagination. I wanted to do anything that was craft related too, like anything.
You wanted to make stuff.
Yeah, I wanted to make
You
stuff.
loved making stuff.
Yep.
Good thing you didn't live by Hobby Lobby or something like that. That would have been a nightmare.
We lived next door to a woman that knew how to cross stitch. And so I would come over to play with their kids and I would see these pieces that she was working on. And I'd be like, do you think you could teach me how to do this? And she did. She got me a piece of stuff and kind of coached me on how to do the stitches appropriately, how to read the patterns. And I was stoked. But anyone that was around me that I could suck out.
Yeah, you could just
Teaching
extract info from them like some sort of...
I did. And so, yeah. And another place that I was very creative was always like fashion and hair. I like sitting in the beautician's chair was my favorite. And my mom always indulged me too. So she
always did.
well,
Or she
pretty
did
much.
sometimes.
I said I wanted a haircut. She would get me one, or a perm or whatever the case was. But
Oh, yeah, you were perming. You were a permer.
I was very early.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I had curlers in my hair that I
So
slept on
you were
at night.
born with straight hair.
Yeah, I was supposed
I've
to
heard
be
you
born
s-
with curly hair.
I've heard you say that God, that is the one mistake he made.
No, I don't think he made the mistake. I think he probably had ordered it and the angels missed it on the memo in my design.
They botched it.
Or maybe they did it on this way on purpose so I could choose even
Yes,
more
they
options.
wanted you to have flexibility.
anyways.
Actually, just saying.
I always loved fashion. I've got pictures of myself when I was 3 with
Three.
those bopper things on,
Oh, yeah.
necklaces galore, a dress and tights and handbag,
Pearls.
little doll.
You loved pearls.
Yep, I took pearls camping. Had
Well,
a lot
that's reasonable, by the way.
of hair bows,
That makes
pearls,
camping a lot
and
better.
skirts. I took camping when I was 8, 9, 10. Had to look good in the woods.
You got to look good in the woods.
Yeah. I loved gardening and decorating as a kid too. I was always trying to design flower gardens and looking through the seed catalogs, and we lived next to a nursery, so I would walk down there and Dad would give me a few bucks to buy a few flowers. I hauled home a palm tree once.
So I think it's worth the story. So How far away was the nursery from where you lived?
Well, they had a
Half a
store
mile?
that was across the highway.
Okay, so
and
quarter mile? Half a mile?
half mile probably.
Half a mile across the highway. How many lanes? 4.
I'm not sure.
4 or 6?
It was,
At least 4.
well, we'll go with 4. Later they transformed it to 4, but it used to be 2.
So you think it was only 2?
I'm not sure. I don't
And it was a
remember.
big highway, Highway 30.
Mm-hmm.
And you had a wagon.
Yep.
And how old were you?
I was probably 11.
So as an 11-year-old, you took a wagon across a 4-lane highway a half a mile down the road and bought a
Palm tree.
palm tree and brought it back.
Yeah.
And how'd that go?
It died the first winter. Well, nobody told me I couldn't plant it outside.
Yeah.
And, I would have thought like my mom would have seen it and been like, this is probably a warm weather plant. You should have it inside, but she never did. And so I just assumed it would
That
be
poor
fine
plant.
because I was buying
Winter
it.
rolls around in Scappoose, Oregon, and the plant's like,
Yeah, I was sad because it wasn't like it was cheap. It was like $60 or something. That was a good portion of the money my dad
Yeah.
gave me.
and in today's dollars, that'd be like 5,000.
Yeah. Anyways, so that was another area that like you didn't have to tell me to get out and mow the yard. I'd just do it. I'd see the grass was growing and I'd be like, well, this needs to look better than this. So let's get out the mower. And I would sometimes need help starting the mower, but most of the time, that thing was like right up here, my head, and I'd just push it. And we had a lot of lawn.
Yeah.
A lot of lawn. We lived on almost an acre of
Wow.
property, and all of it was pretty manicured. But so I wanted my space to be beautiful outside as well as in. And later I went into creative writing in my much older years, but I started with a journal at 15 and just kept it going and until the Lord finally told me to produce something much bigger, which I was almost 40 when I did that.
Wow.
So
wait, you were almost 40 when you started writing the novels.
yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But you spent from age 15 to that time writing all the time, writing blogs, writing short stories, writing all kinds of stuff.
I didn't actually write a lot of short stories.
But you wrote blogs.
I did.
All the time. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I practiced that once I got into my later years. But
Didn't you do some kind of writing workshop when we lived in
yeah,
Oklahoma?
I've done little things here and there. But it was,
But you just kind of went from 0 to 100 miles an hour
Yeah.
with Deep Woods and
Yeah.
had a bestseller.
I did.
That's kind of amazing.
Well, I think pretty much I didn't really want to waste my time in writing something that I wasn't supposed to.
Yeah.
Like, I know that's weird because, a lot of people out there are probably like, you should write as much as possible. And to me, I'm like, no, I don't have all the time in the world to do this.
Yeah.
I want to write something that I feel like the Lord has told me to write.
Yeah.
Because if he isn't behind it, what am I writing it for?
Yeah, I love that.
So,
love that so
I
much.
think that was really the mindset that I had, was just like I needed to feel passionate about what I was
Yeah.
putting my effort into in order to feel motivated to keep going and finish it.
I love that.
So that's how that all got going. But yeah, and of course, creating within the world of animals, we had lots of animals growing up, and also, are we almost done?
Yep.
Are we done?
It's time to wrap it up.
Well, we didn't get very far.
But I think, so this is exactly what I wanted. I really think that this is super important. So here's a couple takeaways that I have, and then we're going to continue this into the next episode, this is very important stuff. So a couple things is, you didn't, when you were a kid, go, I'm an artist. You wanted to create things and express things. And here's a really powerful thing. Your parents created opportunity for you to do that. They fostered that. Mm-hmm. So one really important takeaway, I think, is if you have children, you need to encourage them and help foster the things that they're creative in, the things that they want to be clever about. That could be traditional things like a piano, but it could be things like like you saying, no, I want to plant things. Like that's not necessarily going to be like art class.
Right.
Now you could say, no, it's totally an art to do landscaping and all that stuff, which it is. But like when your kid's this big and is like, hey, I want to plant flowers, parents don't typically go, oh, that's a creative outlet. But it is. So it's really important. The thing is, though, is that a lot of us don't have kids, or our kids are grown up, or we're grown up, but you can still foster the same stuff within yourself.
Right, because you have to feel what's inside of you, and that is where you should go in that direction. So if you think, oh man, I'd always love to play the harp, I wish I could do that, please go do it.
Yes, we need you.
You want to, start baking or cooking or something, but you never have done it because of why, I don't know. Please go do it.
Yes.
There's all of these things that are inside of us that we think about. Oh, that would be fun.
Yeah.
I would like to do that.
Yeah.
Go into that direction.
Go do it. Go do it.
into that direction.
Even if you didn't grow up in a home where this creativity was fostered, you have the ability to foster that environment for yourself now, and you owe it to yourself to do it. So definitely go do that. The other thing that I really am hearing through this story, which we're going to continue in the next episode, is really your ability to kind of see the beauty in lots of different things. You mentioned everything from mowing the lawn to doing work with animals and playing music and, sewing, just all kinds of different things. You saw the beauty that God had, and you wanted to help contribute to that through who you were. And I think a lot of times people see their environment around them and they're like, well, I don't have an opportunity like Prudence did. I'm just a software developer. No, that's art.
Yeah.
Or like any kind of job. It could be a trade job. You could be an electrician, and it can be a creative and art in the way that you implement your solutions and what you're doing and how you connect things and the approach that you take. So I think a lot of times we just need to step back and realize that God created us to be creative because he made us like him, and he's a creative God. And I just see this in your expression, so many different things happening. Anything else you'd like to add before we wrap this up and head into the next episode?
No, I think that if you take away anything from this episode is that you just need to understand that what you were designed to create, and it does look a million times different formats. Like there's so many different formats of that. It doesn't mean that you're painting a picture. And maybe you're a designer for the paintbrush for the painter to paint the picture. Like there's so many different ways for us to create and to be producers to our world.
Yeah.
So it's valuable.
So
You're valuable, and it's never too late to explore more things that are inside you.
Yeah.
Too. You're not too old. You're not too young. You're not too old. I'm going to say that twice. You're not too old to begin something new.
Yeah, absolutely.
So.
Absolutely. Prudence, thank you so much for starting to share your story. You don't want to miss a single episode of season 4. We're just kicking this off, but this series I think is really important. So definitely stay tuned next week for the next one. If you want to see any of the other episodes or any of the other things that we produce, like Save It for the Podcast, which is a family podcast, or anything else that we have, go to chrisandprudence.com. You can find all the resources we mentioned there, whether it's this amazing
and stuff
merch,
that I've created too.
stuff that Prudence created. You can buy her books, her music, the stuff that I've written, the books I've written. You can find access to the Human Nexus, all the stuff. It's amazing. Check it out. Trust me, check it out. Also, this is produced by Eagle Mountain TV. You can find out everything that ministry is doing by going to eaglemountain.global. You can find other incredible programs that we have there, and you can help support everything that we're doing through that ministry and what we're doing here with this show by clicking on that give button. We'd really appreciate it if you would pour into what we're doing. If this has blessed you in any way, please like, share, subscribe, send it out to the world, share it to 500 people minimum 500. Minimum 500.
Yes, minimum.
Minimum. All right. We'll see you guys on the next episode. Don't miss it. We'll see you there.
Yep. We'll see you.